All right, guys, you're looking at the ShotLock 200E Solo Vault. In the advertisement, they say this is for shotguns, but I'm pretty sure it'll fit a variety of different weapons. It sells for $105 on Amazon. I've got to say, I think it's well worth the money, and I'll tell you why. It's made from very heavy steel, so I don't think you're going to be bending or breaking this very easily. A potential weak point of these type of locks is always the hinge. However, they've gone to the trouble to weld both sides of this to prevent us from driving that pin out and then prying the door open that way. We've got a nice black crinkle finish all over it. On this side, you notice we also have a flange. So where you might be able to stick a wedge up in there and try to pry this door open, they've kind of prevented that by putting this flange all the way around it. There are no external screws on here or visible screws where you can start taking things apart. Not even on the face, which we're going to, of course, take a much closer look at in just a moment. There are two screws on the inside, but they are covered up by this flange, and they're located right here and one on the opposite side. And when you remove those, you can slide this plate off. Now, bear in mind, you can only remove that when the lid is open because those two locking lugs go into these two slots here to prevent you from sliding it, as well as these two blocks. Each of these is held in place with two hardened steel screws secured from the back, which of course is bolted to a door. So you can't get those off, and you certainly can't slide off the electronics cover with those in place. So they've really put a lot of thought into this thing. In terms of the locking lugs, I got to say both of these are welded 360 degrees around the perimeter of their base. So they're pretty firmly attached to that steel cover. They're not just tack welded, so you're not going to be snapping those two guys off. These two blocks, as I said, are adjustable by removing a couple of screws on the back. You simply move these blocks back and forth, depending on your weapon, to kind of accommodate the trigger so that when the lid is closed, the trigger guard will trap the weapon inside of there. You notice it was a little bit difficult to slide around, and that's because we have a 1/4 inch of foam rubber in the back, and everything that touches the weapon is covered up with some kind of felt to protect it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lock itself. Well, this is a primary lock to operate your Solo Vault. It's programmable anywhere from 4 digits to 10 digits. You set up your own code, and then, of course, press the OK button. I've left this the factory default, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Press the OK. You hear a solenoid. You get about 3 seconds to turn the knob. If you don't turn the knob to the unlock position when that time, the solenoid will relock it. So if you punch in your combination and you forget, it'll relock itself. So no worries there. I get a lot of questions about what happens if the battery dies. Well, no big deal. We have a plug here for external battery pack. So put 4 brand new AA's, plug it in there right there, and you can externally power your electronic lock. I'll also tell you that this has a tamper detector. It allows you 10 attempts in order to unlock it. If you guess 10 times and fail, the electronic circuitry will permanently disable the electronic lock until you remove an internal battery to reset everything. It's a great tamper indicator. Those little hands have been in there trying to get at your shotgun. If you punch in your combination, it does not work. That's a good indication. Also, if you plug in your external power and your known combination does not work, that tells you somebody's been tampering with your electronic lock. You can still get in, though, because we also have a mechanical lock. And I've got to say, I'm pretty impressed with this as well, especially with this bitting. It's a 6-pin lock, and you can't ask for anything better than that, can you? And it is a very paracentric keyway. The other beauty of this is that this lock is a standard Euro half-cylinder. So if you don't like this lock, if you want to put, say, an abloy in there, it's very easy to do. Buy a half-cylinder, take the tailpiece off of this lock, put it onto your new one, and it will work perfectly. All right, if we need to get inside, we rotate this 90 degrees, and at that point, there's a mechanical link between the key and the solenoid to move it, and that will allow us to get an unlock. You'll notice on the inside, these are solid steel plates that come down. I think you can, this one, I think you can see that moving down there. So these are definitely not spring-loaded. Not going to be getting in there. All right, let's go ahead and lock this back up. Let me see if I can find some picks, and let's see how easy it is to pick this 6-pin lock. All right, I'll use bottom of the keyway. Since it's so paracentric, there's no reason not to. And I'll be trying to use my rat yoke medium rake, or I'm sorry, medium hook. And see if I can work around the camera here a little bit. Turn it like that, Bill, maybe easier. So I'll pull it out until I feel that first, or actually the last pin. That was pin 4. That was 3. That was 1. That was 5. And there we go. All right, not so difficult. I think I would take that option, replace this core with probably an alloy. I think it would be justified on this kit. All right, let's open this bad boy up and take a look at the guts. The internal mechanism appears to be every bit as well thought out as the external part. There are multiple locks on this slider bar, and here are the 2 slots for the locking lugs. This is what keeps everything closed. Now, first of all, notice right here, there is a spring-loaded locking pawl that presses against that nut. So even if you manage somehow to get around the flange, to get a shim underneath that cover, curve it around there, you wouldn't be able to push that to unlock it because we have a positive block right here. Likewise, there's an internal solenoid located right there. Let me go ahead and press the code in. Notice how he pops over, and he'll stay there for a couple of seconds, and then he pops right back in place. Let's do it again, and I'll try to keep my fat finger out of your way, try to keep that centered. Again, an internal protection mechanism. There's also a mechanical block to prevent you from shimming the lock. You actually have to have the key to turn the lock, and then you'll see the shim move and push that solenoid up out of the way, which will then allow you to turn the locking bar. So really well thought out stuff. The key is non-removable, so you can't accidentally leave it in the unlocked position. Really, really well thought out. I got to give them credit. All right, guys, I think you'll agree there's a lot of pros to the design and the security of this ShotLock. A couple other things. I would like to have seen it without having the loud beeping noise every time I push the button, and it would be kind of cool to have a low battery indicator. I guess they thought about that, and that's why they gave it the external power source. So not critical, but it was just one of those nice-to-have things. Anyway, guys, if you want to keep a weapon close, secure, and ready, I would trust this. And this is one of the few devices that I'm going to assign the Lock Lab approved stamp onto. If you'd like to win this, stick around. I'll tell you how to do it. Appreciate your time, guys. Stay safe. Stay legal. All you need to do is navigate to locklab.com, the tribal website, and scroll down in the middle of the page. You'll see all the giveaway buttons, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But the one you're looking for is the Weekend Review giveaway, purple band. Just click on it. It'll take you to the registration page. Again, scroll to the bottom, put in a good email address, so if you win, I can get in touch with you, let you know. Put in a username, doesn't matter what it is, and click Submit. When you're done, you'll get a green check mark confirming your entry. Thanks, guys.